Hello friends, and welcome to Fishcraft. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you so very much. Fishcraft is this little survival series that I've had for a bit over a year now, where I've just been doing as much fishing as I possibly can, while also trying to get myself to learn how to do some form of proper terraforming. So that's what we're going to be doing in today's video. We're going to be doing a bunch of terraforming and a little bit of building, but for the most part, it is really just going to be doing some fishing. I've got a lot of things that I want to do today, and I have not a single clue of how I'm going to do it. Also, look at this. Look at this beautiful little landscape. I'm so proud of this. This is my first bit of proper terraforming that I feel like I genuinely am proud of. Also, I've been extending this little piece of sand, the shoreline on this side outwards to the bottom of the ocean on this side, but I do think it looks good. However, I still need to finish it. I'm not done with it quite yet. I've just got the sand at this point here just cut off. It doesn't look the greatest. Other than that, I do think it looks okay so far. And then once I've got it all pushed to the seafloor, I'm going to go back through and I'm going to add a couple of sandstone slabs just in random places to get rid of this like pattern that kind of is here. However, before I get started on the landscaping business, there is one little building that I have in mind for today that came from a recommendation from a subscriber, actually. So in my last video, I had this hill right here, right? I had it all fixed up, I made it look a little bit better, and I tried to connect it to the actual castle itself. And while I do think I did that, it definitely still could do with some work of some sort. And I got a comment from the little Manian, who's very supportive on the channel, and I appreciate them a lot. So their comment was, I could make it seem like the cliffs were, at first, a wall put up by the castle staff to keep the inner gardens safe, but then the nature took over and formed natural cliffs around the wall. And I really love that idea. That's such a good idea. It's very castle in the sky, so that's exactly the type of comments we're looking for. So other than our fishing and stuff, that is exactly what we're going to be doing in today's video. We're going to be trying to build up some form of a big ol' apothecary outer wall here. However, I do only want it to be visible on the inside of the apothecary, because that definitely it kind of goes with the lore that the cliffside is built around the wall. So we're only going to be able to see bits and pieces of it over here. And then I feel like the more we wrap around the side of the apothecary here, it'll get more and more visible. Like for little pieces right here, we'll have big chunks of wall. It's gonna be lovely. Thank you so much, Manian, for your lovely comment as always. That being said, however, we have a lot of work we need to do for this apothecary wall, so we're just gonna do a little tiny twirl, and there we go. We've got just a little tiny remnant of a piece of a wall here on the cliff, and I do think it looks lovely. I definitely liked adding the moss and stuff to the stone here, because I did before have this whole stone wall just completely made out of stone. There's no texturing on it at all, so this definitely is welcome. And I did try to add a bit more depth as well, using some of the mossy cobblestone walls here, and I do think it looks good, and I'm quite proud with this tiny texturing job. However, as I did mention before, it is just on this side only, because I didn't want the wall to be seen on the other side, seeing as, you know, this is where all the sediment gets washed up and like hits and stuff. Does that make sense? I feel like that makes sense. And then wrapping around the left side here, we have more pieces of the wall remnants. However, it definitely is a lot less than I was thinking it was gonna be. So in my brain, I was imagining this big towering wall kind of just wrapping around this whole piece of the apothecary here. However, I did want this to be more of like a lore thing and less of a giant imposing ruined wall of the sorts. So I just went and I added like kind of like ruins, like tiny little ruins, just to show that there was something here at some point. So we've got a little piece of a wall right here that is connected to a outer apothecary protective wall. I don't really know what to call that, and it's raining. All right, I gotta go do some fishing. Welcome back. We just got done with a little bit of fishing. However, the rain did not last for nearly as long as I would have hoped, so we're just gonna jump straight back into this. Oh my goodness, crab. Hi, crab. As I was saying, this is the little tiny wall that we have for the ruin and stuff that we were talking about before. So I did add two of them. We've got this one on this side here, which I think is very cute and small, and it is out of the way. And we've got another one over here that seems like it's a bit more intact and less ruined. I think I just forgot to go through and texture this one. But that's okay. I still think it does the job of looking like an old little wall that's been kind of crumbled a little bit. However, this is not the second one I was talking about. I completely forgot I had this one. So I guess we've got 3 because we've got one just over here as well, which is definitely my favorite because it has a little tiny archway on it. It's like one of the where there was an old entrance of some sort. I really like this. It's quite cute, and it definitely is giving the old ruined wall vibes that I've very much been looking for and trying to replicate from that comment. Also, this wall is a perfect circle. I did have to map that out just to make sure that it actually fit around the apothecary. So the wall is accurate. It just doesn't look very accurate because is really old and it's all crumbled, and we didn't really get taken care of now, did it? I think I'm gonna blame me for this. I probably was fishing. I'm supposed to be tending to the walls and cleaning them, but I've just been catching some salmon instead. So that is our little walls that we've got so far, and I do love them. And I've just realized I've left my fish on the stove. No, I left my food on the stove. It'll be okay, I'm sure. No, no, I burned it. Oh no. No, I'm sure it'll be fine. I'll just drink some water with it. Oh, that's right. I forgot to mention that while I was doing the little apothecary wall, I could not help but notice that my little cave here definitely did not match too well with the surrounding area here, because before the inside of the cave was just only stone and it just had a few candles on the wall. And that was about it. So I did go through and I added a little bit of texturing with tuff and andesite to the walls with a little touch of moss. Not very much at all, but just a little bit. And we added this coarse dirt here as a small transition block between the grass and the sand, because there was just a clean cut line right here and it definitely did not fit. And I think this looks much better. And we went through, we added a few bits of little sand piles in the corner, and this was awful. I'm just gonna eat the raw ones instead. Oh, and I did also add some of the dried grass here as well. I definitely like this. It is much more cozy in here, and with the floating lanterns and stuff. It is much better, and I'm happy with this little tiny tropical cave. Whew, I can't believe I said that first try. I did originally have a couple of the bamboo rafts inside of here. However, they immediately were filled up by creepers and zombies, so I had to get rid of them. Not that I don't like creepers or zombies or anything, I just didn't want to blow up. I take it back. I don't like them, but I just can't bring myself to hurt them, so I just ignore them. And with the build stuff aside, we are good to move on to the next part of the video, which is, again, it's more build stuff. More build stuff. However, this time it is going to be much more organic and less of an actual structure itself. So I think this is actually going to literally be an organic build. So here's my idea so far for what I think I could come up with. With this giant castle behind me being an apothecary's castle, right? Surely there would be more plants around it. And if you notice, there's really not any plants in sight except for just grass. And I don't really think that would count very well for an apothecary. So my plan is to gardenify this apothecary a little bit, and also to add a bit more color, because as it stands, there's a lot of brown and there's a lot of blue, and that's really about it. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take both my appreciation for my subscribers and the subscribers themselves and pop them directly into this apothecary. As you can see behind me, I've got a whole bunch of sunflowers here, and it does not stop there, because you might be asking, why do I have a bunch of sunflowers? And it is because sunflowers were the request of the same person who left the comment of the apothecary wall being overgrown and stuff. So this is a request by the little manian to leave just a couple of little sunflowers around, and I surrounded the entire circumference of the apothecary with them. So we've got a bunch here, and we're gonna completely fill in this area over here, as well as make some ginormous sunflowers sticking off the sides that are like some form of like mutated plant or something. So here's my plan. All right, so since they are a subscriber and they did ask for the flowers and stuff, maybe not to this caliber, but you know, I'm doing it anyway. Since they asked for the sunflowers, I'm going to be adding the giant sunflowers sticking off the side in a ginormous plant form. So I was thinking that maybe if you all would like some flowers as well, do feel free to leave a comment, and I will definitely try to add your flower to the side of the apothecary. So just leave details about what flower, what kind of flower. Maybe it's an alive flower. Maybe it's not a flower. Maybe it's a fly trap or something. I don't know. But do feel free to leave some comments, and I will get your flower hopefully put onto the side of the giant castle here. Oh, also, when I say I'll add your flower, I mean whatever flower you suggest, it's gonna be the gigantic form. So we're not gonna put the tiny ones, just the really big ones that are like stemming off the side, the mutated ones. Okay, thank you. And with that being said, we are good to get started on doing the little sunflowers. However, I don't have any plans for this at all. I don't know where it's gonna go. Is it gonna go over here? Probably gonna go over here. Let me see. I don't know. I'll figure it out. So we're just gonna do a little tiny twirl. And we've got these lovely little sunflowers put down. I actually am very, very proud of these little sunflowers. I definitely was expecting this to come out a lot worse than it did. And I am very proud of this. However, there is a block right there. I don't want this one. Boop. And ta-da! There we go. I genuinely, I love these little flowers so much. Well, I guess they're not so little, but they definitely, I feel like, add so much to this building. And I love it so much. I should have done this a long time ago. This definitely is one of my better organic builds, if we're not counting landscape, of course. This is so exciting. I'm gonna be able to add a whole bunch more flowers too, with the comments and stuff. So we've got the sunflowers down. They are looking lovely, and this is a perfect example of what the rest of the flowers are going to look like. If I can get some suggestions. So, once again, thank you so very much, Manian, and here are your lovely flowers. I would definitely say, without a doubt, the hardest part of making these sunflowers was trying to build them on an angle, because when I first thought of building them, my first thought was to make it to where they were like these flat-faced, were just these like 2D dimensional little flowers, and I did think that it probably would have looked okay and would have still looked like a sunflower. However, it really wouldn't feel too much like an actual organic build, so I definitely wanted to build it on an angle and also facing the sunset, because I think sunflowers usually are facing the sunset, right? Or is it they face both the sunset and the sunrise? I don't remember anymore, but it's okay. These sunflowers down here are facing that direction, so I've made these ones also facing that direction. You know, we gotta have continuity or something, right? All to say that I definitely am in love with these sunflowers. These are fantastic, and I'm proud to say that because I made them, and I had no idea that I actually could. Goodness gracious, this place is gonna be surrounded hopefully by a lot of flowers. Oh, I do also at some point want to add more custom trees around here. Like, I want this whole area to be completely custom trees. No jungle tall trees, none of those. We're gonna put real jungle trees. So I guess that's something to look forward to. Goodness, I don't know what's been going on with me recently and wanting to build stuff that's like organic, you know, big, nice looking terraforming, and now giant sunflowers. Oh my gosh, wait! Oh, that's right! I forgot to do it in my last video, but look at this little fan art we got from Fallowfoot. I just want to say a big thank you to Fallow for always being a lovely supporter of the series so far and always making a bunch of lovely fan art for me, and I appreciate you a lot. Oh, actually, I want to see if I can try and find where that angle is. So it seems like it's a like a simplified version of about right here. So then that means I am right about here doing some fishing from the top. No, I can't reach the water, no. Anyway, thank you so much, Fallow, for all of your lovely art. I appreciate you so much. And with that, I believe we are good to move on to the next part of the video, which, fortunately for me, is my favorite part. The fishing part. I've been slacking on my fishing so far. I've been doing a lot of planting and a lot of building and a lot of running around and terraforming and stuff. I need to do some more fishing. Plus also all of my footage so far from this week, from the fishing and stuff that I've been doing when I'm not building already. So we're gonna do that really quick. Welcome back from the little fishing break. That was a lovely time. I didn't catch as many as I would have hoped for this one specific break, but through the week now I have been doing a lot of fishing, so I do feel very good about this. I feel like this has been a really good week so far. This has been going really good. We've got the big old sunflowers done. We got the beautiful little wall that we've got placed down, which does of course mean we are good to move on to the next part of the video, which is going to be me just doing a little tiny little piece of landscaping here, because I started this piece of the shoreline in the in-between of my videos, and I didn't exactly finish it, and it does look like it could still use some finishing touches over here. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a bunch of sandstone, and we're going to fully push the rest of the sandstone down to the bottom of the ocean floor. And we're going to connect up these little mountains, or sorry, not mountains, these little tiny islands to the rest of everything. And oh my god. Oh, unfortunately though, I am not a big fan of this type of terraforming. It just doesn't seem like it's working too good. It might be too it might be too long. It's too many slabs in a row, I feel like. So I don't know exactly what it is I could do to make this less noisy looking, I suppose. So I'll try and figure something out. In the meantime, however, I am going to fully finish placing the slabs themselves. Welcome back, and we got a little bit of landscaping done. However, it doesn't look the greatest, but I think it's definitely better than it was before, so I'll take it. I do think the landscaping looks okay from a distance, like from over here. I think the amount of slabs and stuff looks good, but once you get closer and you really give it a good look, it doesn't. It definitely looks like it might be a bit too much. But that's okay. I only have to look at it every single day I go fishing. No big deal. Ow, he got me. That being said, I definitely think that expanding the shorelines all the way down to like the ocean floor, I think that's more of something that people who are actually good at landscaping do. Because I just can't seem to find like the pattern that you would do to make it look okay. Like I'm trying to make it smooth, but I think I'm just doing something wrong, and I can't quite place what it might be. I do still think it looks okay, so we'll work with it, and the more we do this, the better we will get, hopefully. And with that, it is time for us to get started on doing the interior of this lovely little starter base that we have behind us, and this drowned is they are determined. Now I made this little starter shack in my last video, and I love it so much, and I definitely plan on spending probably the remainder of the series over here doing my fishing and stuff. So I definitely want the interior to be nice and cozy, because I have to go in here every single time it gets nighttime and we go to sleep and stuff. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna spiffy up this interior, and it's gonna look hopefully very cozy. I don't know how to do that, but I do want it to be fishy of some sort. I'll have to figure something out. I definitely would think that I've gotten better at interior making, so we'll figure it out, and we'll just do a little tiny swirl. And there we go. We've got ourselves a lovely, cute little cozy little fishmonger little interior here. The only thing I'm unsure of is these weeping vines here, because I wanted them to look like some sort of like a tentacle. Gosh, too much Pokemon. I wanted them to look like some sort of a tentacle hanging off of a little chain, like how I'd be just about ready to cook it and stuff on this lovely little fire pit, I suppose, or cooking table. I don't know. I also don't think I like this cauldron here. I think I'm going to take the cauldron and put it somewhere else. I had a really good time building this, and also thank you to Lucky Lane 0 for coming up with the design of using lecterns as like some sort of a smoke vent, like you would normally see like above like an oven or like something in your house. I thought that was such a cool idea. So I wanted to use it for this because the smoke needed to go somewhere. So we added these little vents on the lecterns into some piping, which then shoots right out the top, which is brand new, by the way. I didn't have a chimney before. I completely forgot about that. So this has been very fun. We added a little bit of water damage and a big fern because I love ferns. We've got just a little bit of storage over here. We've got a couple barrels over here. We've got all kinds of kelp on our walls because I do work in the kelp business of drying it and giving it over to the apothecary over there, but also because we are next to the ocean, and you know, sometimes high tide, you know, there's lots of water gets run through here. So sometimes we just get lots of kelp all over the place. I got all my prized fish on my walls. I got every type of fish. We got all of them in buckets. We got all of them in raw form. I don't care too much about cooked fish anymore. It turns out, you know, I'm not very good at cooking fish. So I think I'll just eat the fish raw. It's fine. I also have decided that for my videos and stuff, I'm going to be keeping track of all of the fish that I catch daily, and I'll be updating my little signs and stuff as I go, so that I kind of have like my own visual reminder of how much I've done so far. And I might not do it in the actual video most of the time, but I will be doing it. I just might forget to show it sometimes. So today I have caught a whopping 536 fish just today, which isn't very much. considering, you know, I've only been here a couple hours doing some fishing today, earlier, like how we saw it with the time lapse and stuff. However, this entire week is a different story. So at the end of my last video, I was at a whopping 270,000 fish caught, and after an entire week so far of fishing and building and stuff, I have caught a whopping 6,934, which means we're at now a total of 276,934. Good grief. I mean, I know I'm a fisherman, but goodness gracious. I love doing these smaller projects. It makes it to where I have so much more time for fishing when I don't have to build entire massive structures like this. Well, I mean, I guess I did kind of build big structure. I got big sunflowers. I'm really excited for the flowers, and I can't wait to see what you all suggest for adding to the side of the castle. Oh my goodness. Big tentacle in the way. Oh, that's right. I look at this. I added a weeping vine, or what are these called? I added twisted vines on top of a crimson herfer, a crimson herfer. And it kind of looks like an octopus, doesn't it? Look at this. It's like a little red octopus, which then also, I guess, ties into this being like a tentacle, right? Because we were a fishmonger. We deal in fish. Obviously, we've got we literally have a fish drying rack next to our bed. It probably doesn't smell the greatest in here. I mean, I think it would probably smell really good, but I would imagine to a normal person this doesn't smell the greatest. We also added a little detector rail on top of the smoker here with a minecart on top so that it's red and it looks like it's burning. It doesn't it look like that's a stove turned on? I thought that was such a good idea. I don't know if anybody's done this before, but I did this on accident. I put the detector rail here because it looked like a stovetop, and then I just thought, oh, I've got a rail here, I may as well go grab my minecart with the stove on it, and then it turns on, it gets red like it's being used. That was crazy cool. I really love it. Also, look at how many different little carpets I've gotten here, little rugs. We've got ancient debris with leaf litter around the sides. That makes a mean carpet. I don't have any reason to want to use ancient debris anymore, or diamonds or anything for that matter. I keep all of my goodies in this little package right here. And so far, I think the only thing inside of it is more rockets. I'll take those. And all of the mending books I've caught this week, which are 4 of them so far. Yeah, so all my ancient debris and all my diamonds and stuff, they hold very, very little meaning to me at all. So I just use them as decoration. And this does look like a little carpet, doesn't it? And you put the leaf litter, puts like the tassel on the side. We've got a couple over here for when we're doing the fish stuff over here and cooking it and all that. We've got our bed on top of one as well. This is great. There's just a little bit of water damage over here, but that's fine. I don't have a lot of monetary value right now to get this stuff fixed, seeing as I'm using it as my floor. But it's okay. This was a really good time building this little interior, and it feels very, very fishmonger for me, or at least it feels more Puddleshine, I suppose. And we also used the looms as the ceiling, which I think it's a good color, and it certainly stands out, and that's all I wanted. And we also put a couple looms over here as well, because this little texture right here is the only thing I could find that looks like it might be close to what a fishnet would be. So I figured I may as well get the colors in here just to get the point across that I tried. So this was really fun. Thank you again to Lucky Lane Zero for the lovely little vent design. I think he used it in one of his videos as well. So go check them out if you'd like. Oh, that's right. I forgot to mention, I don't know if anybody noticed, but I have gone through a little tiny piece of a skin change. I had my skin artist Lanistry. They redid my eyes on the skin. So this is what we'll be looking like for the foreseeable future, because I'll be honest, doing this much fishing it's left a gleam in my eye and a bunch of kelp on my side. So I definitely feel like that this skin more accurately reflects how I'm feeling pretty much at any given point when I'm outside just doing some fishing on the dock. That's right behind me there. Also, look at this. We made the eyes 1 pixel bigger. They're bigger now. Can you believe it? Oh, hey, look. The fireplace is the same color as my eyes. Wow. I thought that was really cool. So thank you to Lanistry, and I do hope you all like it. They certainly feel more soulful than my last skin, which is weird to see now without the big gleam in the eyes. And I do really love this new skin. However, I am struggling to determine if I want to do the regular wide model skin that I've always used, or maybe we could do the slim model. Because this one does feel more, I don't know, a bit smaller. But I've never used the slim models before, and the hands they look a little funny. They look very small, very interesting. And the skin I think does look really good as a slim model. However, I don't know which one to use. Do I use slim model like this, or do I keep to the regular wide model that I've always been using? Do please let me know if you'd like. I just can't seem to settle on something. And also, this rain has been going on for a while. This has been great listening to the rain as it falls. I wish it was a thunderstorm. There we go. I had to change my graphics to fabulous so I could see the rain through the window. I forgot about that. Oh my gosh! I just turned the rain all the way up. This is fantastic. I think I'm gonna take a nap now. This is lovely. And with that, I do believe I have unfortunately run out of time for today's video. So I thank you all so very much for watching this episode of Fishcraft. I appreciate every single one of you, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye-bye! Bye-bye!